Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose, or you get zhanged. And that's exactly what happened to Joyce last night. Joyce got stir-fried. And let me tell you, there are more heavyweights out there who are going to get cooked by the big Zhelei, the Big Bang Zhang from China. Now, I'm going to say this. I've been saying it for a while, and I'm going to remain consistent with my perspective on the Juggernaut Joyce. I still feel Joyce beats every heavyweight out there if he can take their punches. What we saw last night with the Juggernaut Joyce was a guy who proved his chin is made of something different. Maybe titanium. But what it showed is, for Joyce, the rest of his face is not made of the same metal, material, bone, what have you. If his orbital bone, if his face, if his eyes, his cheeks were made of what his chin is made of, Joyce would have that fight would have never been stopped. He would have never shown any signs of damage. But what happened to Joyce is he never got knocked down. He didn't get knocked out from a punch. So Joyce is still that guy with that chin. He's still that guy who's a problem. But he's also still that guy whose defense is his face. And that just does not work. You can't come out here in the heavyweight division, and when you start getting up here with these guys who have the same reach as you or more, the same height as you or more, that hit equally as hard as you or harder, and think that you don't need to move your head just a couple inches to get it off the line of fire. They don't think you have to bend your knees and get under a couple punches. I truly believe that is what caught Joyce off guard. Now, we know I already did the video on Salas. He definitely dropped the ball. But I'm telling you guys right now, I believe Joyce, he didn't really pay attention to the reach of Zhang. He didn't expect Zhang to be as fast as he was. And Joyce and his team, they didn't focus on the foot fight. And what I mean by the foot fight is his position in the ring and boxing 101, keeping Joyce's left foot on the outside of Zhang's right foot, which will put Zhang's big head right in the line of fire for Joyce to throw the straight right hand down the pipe. Unfortunately for Joyce, doesn't really throw straight punches. In addition to that, unfortunately for Joyce, he decided he was going to go to Las Vegas and cut weight and look like the Latin lover. He wanted to go out there and have striations in his chest. He wanted to have an 8-pack. He wanted to come in there and somehow felt he was going to pull a Juan Manuel Marquez Pacquiao 4. And that's not what happened. He got in there and he got stir-fried. He got big banged by Zhang. So now everybody out here, unfortunately, and this is where we got to be fair to Joyce, people saying, oh, Joe Joyce was a hype train. Joe Joyce was never that good. Joe Joyce sucked. To that, I got to say, in the most respectful manner, and it's a kind request. I'm kindly request that you hold your horses and don't take it to the stupid. So all of a sudden now, Joe Joyce is he was a bum. All of a sudden, Joe Joyce was never able to fight. Now I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it emphatically. Those of you who are saying that Joe Joyce can't fight, you obviously woke up and had a large bowl of dumbass for breakfast. See, this is the thing about damn fickle-ass boxing fans. Cornball fans. You ain't no damn boxing fan. You just a casual, man. You go watch Joe Joyce in his amateur fights. You go watch him in the Olympics fighting. And then you come back and you tell me if Joe Joyce was a bum. All the things people are complaining about what he doesn't do, watch him in the Olympics. Watch him when he first turned pro. Watch how this man was floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. But what happens when guys become professionals, and he won a silver medal, by the way, for all of y'all who had your bowl of dumbass for breakfast and are saying Joe Joyce was always a hype train, he always sucked. That's crazy to come and say that about Joe Joyce. Man won a silver medal. You don't just win a silver medal because you sucked. But in addition to that, I'm going to tell you, go and watch some of his highlights. It's out there on YouTube. Go watch it before you open your mouth and just start spewing toxic crap, man. We don't need that shit in the atmosphere. Joe Joyce, I still think he has the goods, but the one thing about Joe Joyce, and I think we all agree, he's got to work on his damn defense. And if you watch Zhelei Zhang, there's two different skill sets in the ring. And what I mean by that is, Zhang works on the things that suit him for a 6'6", 6'7", 270 plus pound fighter. Southpaw. Zhang is a silver medalist as well. Zhang's not dancing around the ring, floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. But if you watch Zhang, people talking about, oh, he looked good because Joyce was slow. Okay, Hrgovic slow? Hrgovic can fight. So Zhang looked good because why? Why did Zhang look good against Hrgovic? I'm going to tell you why. Because he keeps it simple. Same thing that I've been saying, I think Deontay Wilder needs to keep it simple. Zhang gets in there. His eyes are locked on his opponent the whole time. He's pushing you towards his power shots. He's watching your body language. He's watching your arms. He's seeing what's open. He may throw a little jab upstairs. Just something to tie up your mind, to get you to keep your hands up, thinking that he's going to throw that left upstairs. Then he goes hard downstairs with the straight left to the body. He see if you take the bait. If you don't react, he throws it again, but this time he comes back hard with the right hook. Now you may go and now you find yourself worried about more than just a body shot. You're worried about the right hook. And then when he waits till you step. You see, I was watching this last night. Zhang was waiting for Joyce to step and for his feet to not be placed that where Zhang would catch him off balance and fire that damn left hand. And he was doing it. It's all timing, man. So Zhang keeps it simple. Also, I saw Zhang, even in the Hrgovic fight, when punches are thrown at him, he's not bending his knees necessarily and getting undershots. He moves his head just enough to get out the line of fighter. And you know how comfortable you have to be in the ring for someone to be throwing monstrous punches at you. And you just move your head an inch, half an inch, maybe 2 inches, just enough to get out the way and that punch to graze you. And you just sit there and counter him. Let me tell you, that's something not every fighter can develop. You know how uncomfortable that is? Have somebody walk in your face and just fan their hand and let them act like they're gonna hit you and feint at you, or just swat their hand in front of your face. But watch how you react. Somebody may goddamn cartwheel and fall into a corner and break your damn neck because you're so worried about getting hit in the face. But for Zhang to maintain his composure like that, you got a problem. And I think with Zhang, because Joyce is calling for the rematch now. I just think that's a problem unless he works on his defense. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when it comes to Zhang, Anthony Joshua, as of right now, Anthony Joshua will get stir-fried and Zhanged if he fights Zhelei. I'm telling you right now, Anthony Joshua, big, he's strong, but he'll get stir-fried and Zhanged. Usyk's not dumb. Usyk could probably outbox Zhang and avoid those big shots. But if Usyk stands there too long, he could be in trouble. But I think Usyk can outbox Zhang. Too swift, too agile, too fast. It's a little too much going on there with Usyk. Deontay Wilder, that fight may boil down to who lands first. But I'm going to tell you this. When it comes to Deontay Wilder, I know we have some diehard Deontay Wilder fans out there, but I'm going to call it like I see it. Y'all can tell me that I'm taking it to the stupid if you want. I have my bowl of dumbass. Sometimes I have a bowl of dumbass for breakfast too, right? But I think Deontay Wilder against Zhang is a very fun fight. But I'm going to be real with you. Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott and all this extra movement, working on a hook, going to the body. Deontay Wilder is learning so many new things. Just like Ryan Garcia preparing for Tank Davis. The 10, 12 things he's learning, maybe 1 or 2 will stick. The other things after the first and second round goes out the window. Ryan Garcia revert back to what he knows. Deontay Wilder, whoever he fights next, those 10, 12 things he's learning, maybe they all show up in the first and second round. By the third round, 1 or 2 of those things stick, and he goes back to doing what he knows. And with Deontay Wilder and Zhang, I just think it's a matter of who lands first. But I do think if Deontay Wilder's in there trying to jab to Zhang's body, or throw a right hand to his body, I think Deontay Wilder will get knocked out cold. Because Zhang has fast hands, he's extremely powerful, man, and he's a southpaw, and he keeps his eyes locked on his opponent. And for those of you who are saying, nah, man, Deontay Wilder's going to tranquilize him, you're taking it to the stupid hood. Well, to that I just have to say, in the nicest way possible, that I kindly request that you hold your horses and don't take it to the stupid. If Luis King Kong Ortiz gave Deontay Wilder the business in 2 fights until he got tranquilized, right? You're telling me a bigger, stronger, a guy with more reach, a guy who I would even say has a more refined skill set? And I'm going to say that about Zhang because he keeps it simple. You're telling me he won't give Deontay Wilder problems? Okay, forget Luis Ortiz. He had about 800,000 miles. That's an old Cuban Cadillac. He got about 800,000 miles on him. What about Salka? Y'all gonna sit here and tell me that Salka wasn't giving Deontay Wilder the business until Deontay Wilder tranquilized him? Now, Salka, southpaw, much smaller than Zhelei Zhang. Doesn't have quite the reach of Zhelei Zhang. It definitely doesn't have the damn power. It doesn't have the ability to set traps like Zhang. If he gave Wilder problems, you're telling me Zhelei Zhang won't stir fry him, won't zhang him, won't cook him? But don't get me wrong. We know Deontay Wilder is something special in that right hand. But he'd have to get it off early in that fight because Zhang can be hit, but he does move his head. But messing around with Deontay Wilder, that's just bad medicine. So I think it's a toss-up fight. If Deontay Wilder keeps it simple, jab, feint, half a step back, bend those knees a little bit, get that leverage, turn that waist, and get that right hand off, right down the pipe, he'll knock Zhang out cold. But that's a real toss-up fight. That's probably the most interesting fight in the heavyweight division right now. It's not even Wilder and Joshua. We want to see that fight, but that's not the most interesting fight in my opinion. The most interesting fight is Zhang and Wilder. They need to make that fight. Now with Tyson Fury and Zhang, look, anything's possible, man. Tyson Fury's gonna sit there, man, and try to tie him up and wrestle him and be dirty and all that stuff. But when you hit like Zhang and you're that southpaw, man, you know, I just think it goes back to what we were saying. Just, you know, how much did those fights with Deontay Wilder take out of Tyson Fury? You know, how much did all the crap Tyson Fury was doing before he came back to boxing, how much did that take out of his body? And right now, with Tyson Fury, where is he at mentally? You know what I'm saying? But that being said, I think these four guys, Wilder, AJ, Usyk, and Fury, out of the four, I think Usyk has the best chance to beat him. And you know, ironically, Usyk's the smallest one. It's just Usyk isn't going to really stand there and let you just, you know, tee off on him. He's swift enough to move around the ring and to frustrate Zhang. And once Zhang gets tired, he's in bad shape. But I will say, when Zhang got tired in the fight before Hrgovic, right? Zhang was severely dehydrated. Let me see if I could pull that up. I think I got it right here. Let me see. Let me show y'all. Let me pull this up for you right here. Window capture. All right. Let me do this. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna add this here. Window capture. Boom. Boom. Okay. So right here, this is Zhang, right? Let me expand this a little bit. So Zhang, 25 wins, 20 of those are by KO. He has one loss. But when you look at his loss, right here, he lost, well, that's the Hrgovic one, but it was against, I think, Jerry Forrest. Yeah, right here against Jerry Forrest, where it was a draw majority decision. I think it was that Jerry Forrest fight where Zhang was really in bad shape. He was severely dehydrated. He was suffering from kidney failure. So he learned from that. Which is to stay disciplined, stay in the gym, stay in shape. But for Zhang going forward, I don't think we're going to see the stamina troubles like what we saw him run into in that fight against Forrest. And that's a problem. But still, he's a big man. He got tired in there against Hrgovic. But he was in much better shape for that fight than the fight where he fought out, I think it was a guy Forrest. But that being said, going forward, I think Zhang against Dillian White, against Chisora, against the real big baby Jared Anderson, against any of these fighters, I think Zhang beats him. They got some young guys like Ricardo Torres. He's a problem. That would be an interesting fight. But, you know, right now I'm just telling you, Zhang, I've been saying this for a while. Zhang's got something special in those hands. And he's got something special about his skill set, and he's got some speed. And I just think he's a problem for everybody in the heavyweight division. And with the heavyweights, we all know one punch can change a fight. And they all have the ability to do that. But Zhang is first, I think, Chinese heavyweight champion. And it's big money out there in China. Big money in China. Like they say, big trouble in little China. Big money in big China. And big money with this big Chinese heavyweight, Zhelei Zhang. So we're going to see what he does next. Joyce is calling for the rematch, but Joyce wants to have a fight in between. I think Joyce needs to more sit down and relax and let that broken orbital bone heal, because he got cracked repeatedly with that damn left hand. It was horrible. But that being said, man, y'all keep cool. This damn Zhang, 6'6", 75% KO ratio. But he's 39 years old, but he seems to be a young 39. And it's crazy that these guys, the older they get, it seems to be like the better they become, you know what I'm saying? Which is absolutely, mind-blowing to me. But that being said, y'all keep cool. We'll see who'll be the next to get stir-fried and get zhanged. And I'll be looking forward to seeing it. I'm in the breeze.